Here we go, day 3. This is the final day. The big push is going to happen today. We are going to get this DMAX complete. So, as far as fitting hardware, Dave, you've got to finish off the front bar, just buttoning up the bits and pieces.
Yeah, front guards, GME whip,
yep.
all things, yeah.
So we get the whip on, run the cables through, and then Dave can start on the guards, putting all the wings on, winch hook, number plate, get all of that finished up. Going to need you two to mount the new compressor. We've got the compressor arrived yesterday from Redarc Bms. You know where it's going, in the rear drawers. Yep. And you two just do what you do. I'm not even going to try, just like cable stuff. Yep. Day 3, the final push. Let's get this thing buttoned up. This afternoon, the X2 is coming off the production line. We're going to see that a little bit later on. The Polaris 150. Let's get this thing buttoned up. Let's get it done. Into it, boys. Airbag man compressor. Now, this compressor here, this thing is actually a little beauty. There is a lot of options when it comes to air compressors out on the market. Yep. But again, like I've said, running through this video, keeping brands with brands for me is, it kind of makes things much easier. So, because the purpose of this compressor mainly is to control the airbags and the airbag system that we're running into the front there, we're also going to use this for the tyre inflation. Generally speaking, if we didn't have airbags installed, I'd go with the TJM portable compressor. That's generally our go-to compressor in all of our trucks. Yep. But again, we're keeping this whole system as one brand. Everything's kind of plug and play, pre-wired. What we're going to do around here is we're going to fit this compressor straight into the back of this wing kit here on the drawers. You boys have got to find a position in there. Okay, so what I want, Christian Ashton, is I want the air outlet accessible. That's your actual air pump up kit that comes from Airbag Man. So for inflating your tyres, all the stuff. I'm gonna leave, there it is, boys, right there. That's what we're looking for. Yeah? Yeah. Good to go, all good? So just give us that air outlet here somewhere that you don't have to lift that wing. And the TVMS is actually going to control the airbag too, that's worth noting. So Joe's going to wire up a soft key on the TVMS, so when we want the compressor on, push the button, everything will illuminate, gauges, airbags up and down, pump up tyres, all that sort of stuff.
So yesterday Sam finished putting the GME unit under the dash. Now all I've got to do is finish putting the GME whip in, a couple of little wings under the bull bar, tidy up a little bit of the loose wiring, and I'm done on the front end.
Yep. All right, here's another job for you while you're back here. These two LED strips, I want them mounted. There's a channel underneath here. I want them mounted to that channel, but I want them pop riveted in. Yeah, don't use self-adhesive. Dave's got the DeWalt right angle drill. There it is right there. Yeah. So you can get in there with a right angle drill and a hand rivet gun, just use 3mm aluminium rivets. Yeah? So you can use self-adhesive. So one up in here, one there, and one in there. Same deal. Use the self-adhesive and just 3mm rivets, use the pop rivets. Problem with the self-adhesive tape, and we go through it all the time, it's 3M stuff, it's the best gear that you can get. Always when you're out on a trip, that's when they decide to let go. So wherever we can, we always use mechanical fasteners with self-adhesive. That's a good tip for everybody that's installing this sort of gear, all right? Mm-hmm. What Joe does want though, is he wants the tails up at this end, right? Because he's going to run the wiring in behind the top of the canopy, so everything will be hidden, you won't see it. Yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah. If you're not 100% sure, before you go and drill anything, just have a quick chat with Joe. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. Good job. Thanks, boys.
Very nice.
Awesome.
Another little goodie that Redarc can supply for the Isuzu is this really awesome Tow Pro Control sort of mount. It'll take the place of one of your spare factory switches, and it's as simple as securing in the control module, clicking locking it in, plug it into the back, and that's it, refit the panel. We're about to jump into installing this BCDC 1240 that Redarc have supplied, and just like with the Tow Pro, they've also got their very own mounting bracket, or mounting system I should say, for the Isuzu DMAX.
How's that looking?
Oh dude, this thing is just easy.
That's gangster, eh?
It's so clean too.
How good's the bracket? That's really cool.
Nice, get everything bolted down, tightened down, and
Yep.
that's all the hard work done, just running wires.
That's a brand new product for us, first time we've used it. So the Redarc BCDC brackets, what they're doing now is, for the BCDCs, everybody mounts them in their engine bays, right? So your BCDC, I don't know how much you guys have spoken about it, but ultimately what a BCDC is, it's a battery charger. That's what it does. When you go and run a second battery and you're trying to get an alternator to charge two batteries, an alternator's not designed to charge two batteries, so you'll never ever, running through any kind of switching or wiring or an SBI, you will never get full charge into either battery if you're trying to run a dual battery setup off an alternator. You need to put a battery charger in between the two of them. And this is a smart battery charger, so it's measuring the loads on both of the batteries. There's different modes on how it actually powers the battery to ensure that you're getting 100% charge into the second battery. Another big advantage of these are the D models, which they all are now, and this is a 40 amp. So this is a pretty big charger, 40 amp charger. You've got solar input into this as well. So if you've got your car parked up somewhere remote for a long period of time, you can pump power straight into your second battery. For us, the second battery that we're installing on this is really just the safety backup battery just for cranking, eh?
Pretty much.
Because everything that we're going to be running all the power off the back battery. So that's the reason why Redarc have come up with these concepts of brackets. Check out the Redarc website. They're making them now to suit pretty much every popular four-wheel drive.
Whole range.
You can buy a BCDC, buy a brackie.
Get a
Pick up.
Just get a little brackie.
You're going to use that now, aren't you?
Oh, that's going to be good.
I'm going to pick that up anyway.
That's all good, yeah.
You can buy a BCDC with not a brackie but a bracket, yeah, and mount it to your truck on your own.
Yep.
But you got to have some skills like Sam.
Some.
Justin does not install BCDCs. Sam
I'll tell you
installs
what.
BCDCs.
You could do this one.
What do you say?
Definitely. I've got faith is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Good recovery.
save,
Good
save.
recovery.
Get a brackie.
How you two looking?
Good.
Got it in yet?
Yeah. Yeah, I have the.
Does that actually clear? Move your foot. Good, that's perfect. It's the pump up kit that comes with the compressor from Airbag Man. So you can see here, plug straight in. Tyre inflator, that'll reach all the way to the front tyres. So in this position here, the other thing to consider on where you mount the outlet for your air compressor if you're towing a trailer. So you always want it at the rear of the truck so you can still get to the front wheels and you can get to the back wheels. One of the other things that we need to install, boys, while we're back here, this is the shunt for the Redarc Bms. So this has got to be mounted right beside the battery. You can't extend any of these cables because they're kind of a tuned length. What this effectively does is it measures the current flow, what's going into the battery and what's going out of the battery, and talks back to the BMS. And now the BMS is going to be connected to the TVMS. So really all of the loads off the battery, this is probably one of the, well, this is the brains, I suppose, of what's going on with that whole battery management system. So boys, you need to get this mounted onto the side of the drawer on this side, right beside the battery as well. Sweet. These kids are getting smarter, eh? Like it blows me away every time I do something with them and they come up with ideas now. They're kind of doing their own thing. The brains are engaged. They're working stuff out, and yeah, it's pretty awesome. This has been cool working with the twins and seeing what they're capable of. They're another part of the team now. They're not just kids that are there, you know, just for the sake of being there anymore. They're actual labour, you know. It's awesome. Really, really cool. Peak or DMAX wheels. Yeah?
That's nice.
They just got fitted, the boys just dropped them off. Have a look at this. Check this out. So Peak wheels are a new range for us. 17 by 9-inch wheels, maximum offset to suit all the vehicles that we're designing them for. We're going with the 265 70-17 Mickey Thompson all-terrain, so an ATZ tyre. ATZ's a lot lower road noise than the MTZ, so for a touring truck, this is about all you need. Deep treads. You guys know my feelings on Mickey Thompson's. I've been running them from day one. But I think the black wheels, black bar work, silver truck, you cannot go wrong. So I'll bring the rest of the set in and I'll show you guys through it. What do you reckon? Nailed it?
Yes.
Nailed it.
Those are so nice.
How you guys going in the back?
Yeah, easy.
Yeah. Lights are in.
Yeah.
They're all done. So actually while we're here, let's go for a walk around. There's a bit of action happening up here right now and I'll show you through what's going on. Alan from Master Tint, say good day.
Hey guys.
So Al's a good mate of mine. You've seen him in a couple of videos in the past. I think the Mega 6 was the first one that you...
Yes.
Was it the Mega 6?
The Mega 6.
Yeah, so we've known each other for, let's say, 6 years, because we're only still in our 20s.
No, we're very young.
We've known each other. We met each other when we were 20, and we've known each other for 6
like
years.
last week.
Yeah, it was like last week. Well done, mate. Come around, we'll keep walking around. Dave, how you looking, mate?
Looking great, yeah.
Yeah? Where are you at?
Inner
Wings are
guards
on?
to do.
Yep.
Wings, then inner guards.
Awesome. So the bar is almost complete. Underneath here, Dave's just fitting up the wings. Just finishes off the trim on the front of the bar, so it looks a lot better, but obviously adds a lot more protection. All he's got to do is trim up the inner guards, really.
Yeah.
Connect them up, and the whole front end is really done. Number plate's got to go on, fair lead in the winch. This will be buttoned up real soon. But come around this side, this is starting to get exciting. This is starting to get really exciting. Check this out. Look at the workmanship in this. Can we get tight enough on here? I don't think you can really
Appreciate it.
my brain just does like I don't know how you have the patience to do it. There would be broken stuff everywhere and nothing would work, probably something to explode and catch on fire and all the rest of it. These are the trades, the people that we have here at Patriot. The workmanship that goes into everything that these boys touch is world class, eh?
Thank you.
Yeah? Right, mate, it is amazing. Let's go this way. How you looking, man? He's still under there.
Final wire is about to go in.
Yeah.
And that's it. I'm out. Free.
GMA's all wired
all
through. What actually are you doing in there?
So we've got GME mounted up. We've
Yep.
got the TowPro Elite systems
Yep.
all in. All your switching for bar lights, everything.
Yep.
All done.
Central locking sorted for the canopy?
Yep. Done.
So we lost the instructions yesterday from Aero class. The canopy comes with a pre-wired harness, which is really cool, eh?
It does, yeah.
And picks up into the factory pin, so you don't need to cut and shut anything. It's
Yep.
just an adapter, isn't it?
That's it, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, so gold. So we figured out those, well, Sam's figured out the colours this morning.
Yep.
That's all working. Central locking will be going real soon, and then we'll start seeing all of this going back together. Then at the rear of the truck, boys, how are you guys looking?
Good.
Where you at? What stage?
I have drilled the holes for the air compressor, so just need to actually mount it now.
Okay, so that's all drilled, ready to go.
Yep.
Air compressor's going in. The lights are all mounted underneath the drawers now. Lights are mounted into the top of the canopy. Ashton's got the shunt wired in there for the BMS, the whole Redarc system. We do have a little bit of a hold up though. The second battery tray that we ordered for the second battery and the BCDC for the front end has been held up in transport. It was meant to be here yesterday. We're being told that it's going to turn up at 2 o'clock this afternoon. So that's going to hold us up a little bit, but the boys can continue. We'll get the whole build buttoned up, get this thing sitting back down on its wheels, get the second battery tray in, and then we'll go and get the X2 and the Polaris. In the earlier days, we used to, try and, what's the word for it? We'd reverse engineer a lot of products. So a lot of cardboard templating and all the rest of it. The whole world has kind of shifted over the past 10 years, and especially manufacturing, where OE manufacturers release a lot of CAD. But when it comes to a project like this, where you've got the mix of 3 different components, the Isuzu DMAX, the TJM Mod X drawers, the Aero class canopy, trying to get all of that CAD together. So there's still a little bit of figuring out to do, but look, this may become a product for Patriot. We'll see what the response is to this video, but I think there is definitely a market for a product like this for people who want to fit their own gear into their build. Because you want to make sure that the seat, because the nut seat is that chamfer there.
Yeah.
Right? You want to make sure that that seating on there. Yeah?
Bottoming out on these.
So wind that all the way in. And then you'll see that if the paint comes, all paint comes off, the nut's seated. If the paint doesn't come off, you're bottoming out on the stud. If your studs are too long and your wheel nut actually bottoms out on the bottom of the stud, your wheel will still clamp out, but it's not seated where it's meant to seat on the wheel in the relationship to the nut. What happens is the wheel starts wobbling around, eventually it wobbles so much it'll just shear off, yeah? And we've actually had that happen in the past. Yeah, there you go, perfect. See that?
Yep.
See all the paint's come off that whole seat there?
Yep.
You're good.
Mark. Basically, you're
Mark.
You're going in first.
Again.
Yep.
What? Again?
Again?
Jeez.
Mark.
Through again, anyway.
That is a system and a half, dude.
Yeah, isn't it?
You absolutely crushed it though. So glad I called him back up because there's so much wiring in this thing. Joe, many thanks for helping out.
You're very welcome. Plan is to get all these bundles to their respective places, either down that side of the drawers or that side of the drawers, or out the car to go to the front for the batteries.
Update. Kobe's here from 5-3 Designs. How you going, dude?
Good, mate.
Pretty simple one for this, eh?
Yep.
Yep.
As far as the other ones go, this is pretty basic, this one.
That's a pretty big Patriot games. So you know 5-3 Designs, they do all of the wraps here, all the super tours, everything that we get into. For this one here, I wanted something really simple because at the end of the day, I don't know the taste of the person who's going to own it. It's a very simple, very clean, very classy looking touring truck. So I didn't want to go over the top and do something silly with it. So the big Patriot games are decal down the side. I'm hoping whoever wins it is going to leave it on there. Look what I got. Last piece of the puzzle.
Yay.
Second battery tray. So we thought this was going to hold us up. Dave, you're all good with the bull bar, man. Jump in with Sam. Give him a hand.
Done, yeah.
I've actually got the battery on charge. Actually, come with me. Come and have a look over here because I'll show you through. I'll show you through something else. Come and have a quick look at this. This is a new product for us, something that we've been using. You might have noticed in the background, this battery's been on charge since it was dropped off the other day. I actually disconnected it last night, but I've just plugged it back in. We're keeping this battery topped up. We're gonna go, on this build here, we're gonna go with a Century deep cycle cranking battery. The reason we use Century, and we don't associate with Century, so this is just something for me, something personal. These are Australian made batteries. They're made in Brisbane. I don't know anybody from Century. I don't have an affiliation with Century, but I always buy Century batteries. Australian made, keep them in Australia, keep the jobs here. If you're building a truck, go to the Australian brands first. Ask the questions, look at the stuff that's designed here, and more importantly, look at the stuff that's made here. We've got 100 people sitting inside this factory now that all work as Australian manufacturers. That's 100 families that we're keeping the money here. Keep the jobs here, keep a future for the young kids. Got a little bit carried away there, but it is very, very important to me. So Century batteries are a good thing. Let's get back to the battery charger. What they're really good for is maintaining batteries. Everybody knows batteries are expensive. When you start going gel and AGM batteries, hundreds and hundreds of dollars. You leave your touring truck parked in the shed, or your Polaris Razor, or your boat, or whatever, and you don't use it for a few months. What kills batteries more than anything is being discharged or staying at a very, very low voltage for a long period of time, starts knocking out cells. So I've got, personally now, I think I've got 3 or 4 of these in the garage at home. I've got my Indian on charge at home. I've got the Mega 6, I've got the Black Chuck on charge, and some of the kids' toys like jet skis and that sort of stuff. And I just switch them around. Real easy clamps. There's one button, push it on, bang, it's on, it does its thing. Typical Redarc, it's a smart charger. So it measures what's going on with the battery before it decides on how it's going to charge the battery, and then just maintains the battery life. So if anyone's wondering where the Mega 6 is, that's at home with 2 of these plugged into it right now, or whenever I want to drive it, it's ready to go. Are you looking up there, boys?
Yeah, good.
Chuck these on. So what the twins are doing here now at the moment, the very last thing that we have to mount, the last thing to go on is the Max truck. So It would not be a touring car without a set of max tracks. And it still surprises me around the world, all the travels that I do across to Mongolia and a lot in the United States, it's almost, the max tracks are almost like a statement now, you know? If you want to be legitimate overlanding or touring, you have to have a set of max tracks on the truck, but it's not just about looks. Max tracks over the years have got me out of more bogs than any other piece of recovery gear that I have. Probably second close to that would be the front winch. So if you're going remote destination traveling, max tracks still made here in Australia. So getting back to what I was talking about before, Australian made, right here locally in Brisbane, the best materials they use. You see all that cheap junk on eBay. I guarantee you buy a set of recovery boards on eBay, they're not gonna last one trip. I will promise you, they'll break, they'll fade, they'll twist and all the rest of it. I know people that have been there. Stick with the original, the company that invented them, right here from Australia, an hour from Patriot HQ, Max Tracks. We have power. Here we go. So we've just brought down Cam, one of the engineers from up at Patriot. Cam, show them the little device you've got. So this is a little app that public can get now. Ours is a little bit different because we're programming on the production line with the X1s and all the rest of it. But with the TVMS, you can Bluetooth directly to the TVMS and you can Bluetooth your phone. So I can control all the inputs and outputs from my phone. But what Cam has just done is he's just programmed the system, everything that we've installed, so all the buttons are working. So let's see if everything works. So roof lights, boom, roof lights, draw lights. Give us a look. Lights in the drawers, flick them off, Cam.
Yeah, they're on, hit the button.
No, flick them off from there. Back on. How good's that? That's really good. Let's go air compressor. Air compressor's on, you can hear that running now. Airbag system, come and have a look in here. So there's our airbag system, the pressure we can put in the bag. So now we can deflate. We can level the back of the truck independently, and obviously we can control loads through the Airbag Bms system. We'll turn the compressor back on. We can also pump it up. See, this side is starting to pump up now, and the opposite side. So that's a really cool bit of kit. And lastly, inverter. So this is your inverter button at the top. I've taken over. Sorry. I'm a little bit excited, nothing new. Yeah. So they're all the same. All the boys, they think the same of me. Inverter's on now, done, Redarc system, fully installed in the DMAX, but I'll run you through all this stuff a little bit later when we get to the full reveal. The boys up the front, let's go and have a quick look at how they're going. Thanks, Cam, you're a legend, mate. No worries. Joe, well done, mate, great job. Where are you boys at?
Second last fuse is going in, and we're good to just test.
So the whole inside, second battery kit's done now. All the posts are on, everything's getting wide. Let's get this thing out of here.
Yeah.
3-day, mega build. Mega build.
Yeah.
You know what brought us out? Electrical. As always. Well guys, I hope you've enjoyed this build series so far. There's a lot of new innovations that have gone into this DMAX, specifically when it comes to the electronic side. I think that we have built the ultimate family tourer, and somebody is going to win this truck. It still breaks my heart, we're going to give it away. Because this one here, I want to keep it. But as usual, the team at Patriot here have crushed it. All of the gear that we fitted is the gear that we use on the shows, everything that we know, everything that we trust, and the brands that we would recommend to anybody who's getting into touring or looking at upgrading. And the big one for me for this series was these two. You two are coming, they're coming of age, eh?
100%.
Oh, yeah.
The years and years, and it's worth noting as well, every school holiday since these guys were probably about 8 or 9 years old, they've been here at Patriot working with this team. You guys have been working with these boys for years, and to see the skills that they have learned from the team that surrounds them, everybody who's involved here at Patriot Campers, definitely a feather in my cap. Keep an eye out for the next episode. We're going to give you the full reveal of the DMAX build, the X2, the Polaris 150, which we're going to go down to the workshop and hook up right now.